Words, 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 words. Spoken word, poetry brought to life, a play on words, the art of storytelling, the tone, the gestures, the expressions, the atmosphere, an outlet to release views, emotions, life experiences, information. Words, 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 put together, arranged so skillfully, upbeat, downbeat, rhythm of a heartbeat, heartbeat, heartbeat. Hunter Memorial AME Church hosted the Emerge Poetry Slam, which featured artists from around the DMV. This is Princess with DMV experience. Sit back, relax, and let's go play with words. And let's experience the DMV together. Remember, He is God of this city.
Sit and I watch as you pace back and forth, conversing with yourself. But yourself is not yourself. So I sit and I wait as the anticipation grows near. I feel a squeeze, I can't breathe, Lord. How did I get here? My eyes closed. I feel my soul separate from my frame. He lets go, nothing but bad thoughts in my membrane. Satan is calling my name, so I answered. Feeling anger so viciously from my head to my feet, feeling it travel through my spirit until its mission is complete, because all I hear is murder. Murder. Use murder to defeat. My eyes are squinting, I'm different, I'm no longer me. I look over to the knife block. A substitute for what I didn't have for a gunshot. Grab the longest one I can find and slices of meat like pork chops. You would have thought I was good, fellas, because I wouldn't have up his body at a truck stop, but something came over me. And even though I stabbed him, it wasn't as deep as his arteries. That goes to show when you're not in control, God still covers me, but the plot thickens. 10 days after my birthday, I get a knock at the door. Are you Brittany? Yes, I get handcuffed, escorted out the door. A $45,000 bail set. Charged with second-degree assault and anger threat. Could have faced 10 years in jail off from squeezing my neck, but you couldn't show up in front of the judge when it's time to get cross-checked. See, look at God still working with me. Because even though I rejected him, he still covered me. Before you think the Lord has left you alone in a dark mist, I'm a living testimony. Case dismissed. I always define myself as a lost young lady who knew nothing about the steps to becoming a woman. Always had a bright future, but nothing could hold my interest long enough for me to get there. Graduated high school in 2007, went to University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, and boy, did I turn up. Came home. I came home. Went to Prince George's Community College and 2 additional schools after that. No job yet. When you do your math, that counts 8 years wasted, and we all know we can't get time back. Throughout this time, I grew weak, just going through the motions of life. I had motion sickness, and I couldn't stop the nausea. The pain in my stomach grew stronger, searching for something that I couldn't easily put my hand on to touch. I was seeking for something supernatural, but a Catholic mindset clouded my vision to where eventually I could not see. My heart was disconnected from my head. But they both wanted to think for me as if they were sitting shoulder to shoulder with brain cells like a Siamese. I grew comfortable living in a world of confusion. That's all my life was. If I had time to tell you my story, you'll understand why the pit was my home, and I believe that's where the light was. I was a Luke chapter 8 chick, reading a little bit of words to sustain me through my sin, but continuously falling by the wayside because I spoke out of my mouth and my life would end, but God had a different route for me to take. 2 years ago, he spoke to me in a dream, and he said, "Come, my child, come." You would have thought I was a disciple because I had a Peter face. It was like he was calling me. Y'all might laugh, but I felt like Chris Rock on New Jack City. He was calling me, man. He was calling He was calling me. He was calling me to walk on water with him. But the thunder and the lightning took my focus off, and I was afraid. Rejection was all I could do, because rejection was injected in me in an early age. You might think I'm a little cray-cray, but I refused to follow God until I knew with my own eyes that his way was better than what my heart and what my head had already pictured for paradise. And if we all know God in the spiritual way, it's no surprise if I told you he showed up and he showed out. He woke me up one night, tapping me on my shoulder, and I cried out, Lord, help me. God, help me. I prayed for about 2 hours. I never prayed that long in my life, but God wrapped me in the cradle of his arms, and that's when I realized I needed him. The God I knew before never spoke peace, love, or comfort in the same sentence, but that's what happens when your mind is religious. And all you learn is tradition. And now my hymns to him are psalms and songs of Solomon, and worship rolls off my tongue when I speak of him. The definition of life and power is how I now define myself when I think of him. And I thank him. He allowed this conformed shell to transform into his supernatural being. I thought rejection turned him away from me, but I realized the hell I went through, the hell I'm going through, and the hell in store is necessary for the young, bold woman I will be for his eternity. He saved my life. Before God, I would have easily entered the gas chamber because the deal I made with Satan was so sweet. But through God, I am proud and bold enough to say that for God I live. For God I will die. But through him I have truly found me. Thank you. My name is Queen Britt, and you can all follow me on Instagram and Twitter at QueenBritt_3. Thank you.
Be the individual, society says. Be the outspoken underdog who ascends, defying the gravity of opposition. Be the individual, but mimic me. Embrace all of who you are, but conceal the things that embarrass me. Hide away the chubby physique you were born with, the coarse and shaggy hair genetics granted you, your impractical dream, your Jesus. Embrace every piece of yourself that defines you, but section yourself off and set aside the pieces I hate for the appropriate settings. Sometimes I listen. And after ripping those slabs of flesh from my identity, I mourn the loss of me. For who am I really now? Who am I without the chubby physique I was born with, the coarse and shaggy hair genetics granted me, my impractical dream, my Jesus? I make the attempt to section myself off again and again until I recall there is no such thing as an appropriate setting. My Jesus is a part of me in every setting. So who am I without my Jesus? Who am I without me? So finally, I embrace all of me and showcase the pieces that frustrate the society. I'll tell you who you are, it speaks. You are tragic and weak, grotesque and unaccepted, reclusive and uncool. And I boldly contest no. I am the outspoken underdog who's ascended, defying the gravity of your opposition. I am the individual. You should be proud. Smile when you see his face. And don't be afraid to wink your eye. Compliment him whenever possible, and feel free to gently caress his arm. Accidentally run into him in the library, in the bathroom, at his job, in the locker room where he changes. I'd recommend bringing him a treat to help him recover from the surprise. And if you should accidentally see him naked, that would be the perfect time to compliment him. And remember to smile and wink. Then tell him it's fate that keeps bringing you together, but be sure to install a tracking device to his car from when fate doesn't work. Show that you want to be a part of his life. Invite yourself to his family reunion. Make copies of his apartment keys so you can come and go as you please. It'll almost be like you're living together. Show him you care about his well-being. Cook him a healthy breakfast each morning and accompany him on his morning jog. Arrive on time to his therapy sessions and listen well. Show him how observant and attentive you are. Not only do you know his favorite color, but you know the names of all his exes, beginning with his first in middle school, who should mysteriously disappear along with his other exes if you had to have a lasting relationship. You not only remember his birthday, but you know his number without him even having to offer it. This would be a good time to slip his PIN and social security number to the conversation as well. Bonus points. Now that he'll be impressed and practically smitten with you, you can stray from the subtleties. Do something special to show him your affections. Perhaps you can make a collage of the hundreds of pictures you've taken of him over the years. I'd recommend decorating it with the strands of his hair you've been collecting. Then leave it as a gift for him at his front door. Have some rose petals leading him towards his bedroom where you'll be waiting in the dark, wearing a veil and holding a bouquet. You'll have him right where you want him. But I wouldn't recommend wearing the dress. You don't want to be too forward. You'll probably scream. Sexy is often defined by the physical, external. But most live unaware that sexy is internal. That someone can be sexy regardless of her figure, regardless of her hairdo, regardless of his bling or his thug life tattoos, since these things are superficial, artificial definitions of what sexy means. For if these things were the basis of sexy's designation, then most anyone could claim it without hesitation. And they start to say it's overrated, exaggerated, and outdated. They start to hate it. But in reality, we all want to imitate it. But we fail because our understanding of sexy has been manipulated, and our only hope is to examine the person from whom sexy originated. And from what I can recollect, it was he who died and resurrected. And though critics rejected, deep down they respected. Because who can't admire someone whose name brings demons to their knees? Someone whose touch can cure any disease. Had so much power he never has to say please. Locked the gates of hell and threw away the keys. Brought all things into existence by simply saying, let it be. Accepted crucifixion so his crucifiers could be set free. Never spoke to live a fallacy. Unafraid of speaking honestly. Unafraid of anything really. Never doubted his authority. He knew he was sexy, and that's sexy. So if you find that you're drawn to me, and the reason is a mystery, something beyond my hourglass figure, my extravagant hairdo, my glistening bling, or thug life tattoo, it's because of my identity, who I was created to be. The child of his majesty in me is the author of sexy. And before I knew him, I thought I was sexy to my roots, from my hat down to my boots. But now I know that next to Christ, all I ever really was cute.
Get your hands, please. You're not sitting here.
Yes, I am.
Move. Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how.
Oh, you got...
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
I have nothing. Nothing beyond these 20 fingers and toes, and even each of those were lent to me. This body was not meant to be mine forever. I have nothing. Nothing beyond the breadth of my bust, the flatness or protrusion of my gut, the absence or presence of my butt. I have nothing. Nothing that can save you. Nothing that can save me. Nor anything that I can save. You see, they say you can't take it all with you to the grave, and please believe that I won't try, because God and I, we already had that conversation. See, I took him a copy of Cosmo and showed him what beauty was for my nation, and he said, that's all right. Then he stretched forth his great hand and said, let there be light skin, dark, fat, thin. And by then, I was through. I said, God, why couldn't you have just done what I asked you to do? When I stepped up in this synagogue, I was just praying a prayer to be a few pounds thinner. God, that don't make me no sinner. God, dang. But then an angel sang, you are beautiful, darling. You are beautiful, duh, trying to remind me that I was so much more than those painted pictures I had allowed to blind me. I let them bind me steadfast to cans of Slim Fast, half dead from my last step aerobics class on my way to yoga, then Pilates, then yoga lattes, no time for gelatis with the girls at Rita's. I can't eat that, I can't be fat. But you're beautiful, duh. You're so beautiful, duh. Okay, scratch that. I be fat. In fact, whatever that is they eating, order me that. 2 of them. Just make sure you sprinkle it all with fish oil so I can grow long, strong, healthy, head down my back, yes. I forgot about my weight, but I will not be forgetting about my trust. Should I relax or press? Or does it even have to be straight at all? See, long and curly was my pick, but in the middle feels like I'm going bald. God? Am I still beautiful now? Yes, he replied. So daughter, go get all 2.5 inches of your hair fried, dyed, and laid to the side. Any extra length you need, you can buy. Fine. So I forget about my weight, and I forget about my hair, but what do you expect me to wear on this budget? Ooh, this is a fancy setup. On this budget. See, compared to them, I'm looking a bit rugged, and let's be honest. These Target shoes on my feet ain't hitting like Manolo Blahniks, and Target is great, but I'm gonna need me some Dolce & Gabbanas if I'm gonna compete with the elite. But then God reminded me that I have nothing. Reminded me that I am nothing. Nothing more than a beautiful soul cloaked in designer flesh. Try and find a designer dress that's as intricately woven as your circulatory system. See, the clicking of high heels can't hold a candle to the beating of the heart in your chest. You are. Oh, I'm beautiful now. I'm so beautiful now. I'm so beautiful. I'm so beautiful. So forget about my hair length and shoe size. Don't worry about what your eyes see when they meet mine, and I'll try and do the same for you. Don't worry about the name on the tag of my blouse, because no matter what I'm wearing, I still look just like God. You know, that fly bad lady that made me. And even when the signs of aging begin to wrinkle my skin, and if I'm no longer thin like I was way back when, if I really was thin, and even if I feel like I can no longer attract men, I can still laugh and feel giddy, because my soul gonna always be pretty, long as I remember that I and myself have nothing, and my Creator has everything. Thank you. This world is nothing more than a matrix of ones and zeros. And the one might be a 0. He or she can easily become a 10 by accentuating the positives and then accentuating them again with the right filter. See, there's a tightrope hung between flattery and exaggeration. It's a line so razor thin we use it to cut and paste ourselves into our fantasies of cookie-cut glamour. We're enamored by who we could be with just a few fewer pimples. And Neutrogena has gone digital. See, pimples need no longer be popped when they can be cropped out of your face altogether in a picture of painless perfection that'll last forever and write 1,000 words in the book of faces. Ooh, yeah. That shameless collage where we hold all of our friends. Some that we only know by name and assume gender. All I ever wanted was to be someone's friend. But that word has gone from interactive noun to hyperactive verb with the adding of an ing. Everyone's friending each other. Sounds dirty. Sounds like 5 minutes, no love. So excuse me if I don't want to friend you. In fact, why don't it offend you? Don't it? Not doesn't it? Why don't it offend you when people who you've known for years only remember to wish you a happy birthday after they've seen other people writing on your wall? In the Bible, the writings on the wall foretold the fall of a people. It's hard to face the book of Daniel even when it's happening right in front of our very eyes. We follow our followers, the blind leading the blind, a bunch of birds flapping about with our beaks instead of our wings. In person, we barely even speak, but I'll at you on Twitter. I assure you, that if it's going to be an Antichrist, that's where you're going to start his cause. Promise you. It's the quickest way to acquire followers while hiding your flaws, the best thing that ever happened to the introverted philosopher. I could start a cult from my couch. But bear with me. If everyone's a follower, and we all follow each other, aren't we likely to just walk in eternal circles? And if you and I try to seclude ourselves and just follow one another, aren't we likely to stand completely still? Are we content to reduce our emotions to emoticons and emojis, or will we one day remember how to feel? I miss the days where tears stained my notebooks and my pillowcases, and nobody knew where I was, how I felt, or what I was thinking but me. I miss inconvenience and privacy and the passing of time and solitude. I even miss driving with both hands. And I miss voices, real voices. And I miss skin, real skin, bumped, scarred, stretched, marked, warm, analog, outdated, okay. You see, real is the most filthy pristine, and your chipped tooth smile, I swear, is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Not because it's perfect, and certainly not because it's you. Some things are simply beautiful because they are true. Thank you.
This is critical chaos. Are you really feeling yourself? Is that what you truly believe, or is that just a common quote you thought was cute because it came from Nikki and B? Does one digital drop really make an entire world stop? Or is that just something to cut on in your car with the windows down to give the car that extra pop? Carry on. Hair on fleek, nails on fleek, eyebrows on fleek, pretty on fleek. Thank you for making that known to our social media 7 days a week. Too bad social media wasn't popping like that on January 15th. Chris Brown, Drizzy, Rich Gang, and whoever else. Is that right? Well, what about these familiar names? Trayvon, Eric, and our good friend Mike. See, no one is seeing the bigger picture here. We're in a generation where the cares just aren't there, and if there seems to be one, it's quite rare. Let's be petty, give them something to throw back in their faces later. Let's see who's up right now and who's stuck right now, although there are thousands of little Nigerian bodies lying on the ground right now. Let's continue to give ourselves stage names like Shmurda on the end to help raise the jail rate statistics higher and higher for committing murder for our black men. Let's stop trying to play that keep it 100 game, knowing good and well that your 50 plus my 50 won't ever equal up to that good old 100 name. Come on, school systems, let's use our tools so people will stop trying to kill our children. Yes, I'm telling you to put prayer back in our schools. Men, I thought you'd be a little more advanced in mathematics. Yes, 1 + 1 does equal 2, but 1 you + 2 women does not mean that you can have your cake and eat it too. Ladies, step your cookies up when it comes to the study of history. Once you've created that massive count, your body is no longer considered a mystery. Yes, having children does change lives, but having them will not bring you any closer to becoming these men's wives. He's only going to stay if he wants to stay, but he has to choose whether or not he wants to be a man or a coward at the end of the day. Get high, test high, score high is the result you hope to get. Please, I say please, never allow yourself to become so addicted to something or someone of the world that it defines your intellect. I guess what I'm trying to ask is this really you? Are you checking through your side view? Are you looking in front of you? Are you even asking if any of this is really true? No, you can't make him want you. No, you can't make her hump you, because we all know the truth is you don't even know you. So is this what you do? Make it look prettier than it seems. Look for the materialistic things. Stand still waiting for the caged bird to sing. How many of us really know why the caged bird sang? Or how Miss Angelo and many other black activists did their thing? They laugh at us, mock us, tag us with diseases like Ebola, call us all types of names. Now we do it to each other by playing the same blame games. Have you caught on yet? How come we are so quick to sniff the cocoa and point our guns, but no one wants to go vote when the black man or black woman decides that they want to run? See, I'm speaking from somewhere deep within. These are not things we should have to think about or say that it depends. So let me remind you again, This poem is called Critical Chaos. And I just want to know, do you want to be the employee or do you want to be the boss? Do you finally want to win or do you choose to keep taking the same loss? Thank you.
Give it up for 50 Days of Tape.
Amen. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, God, we thank you. We thank you for you are the truth, God. So we thank you for all the truth, God, that has been spoken in this place and in this atmosphere, God. We thank you for empowering us through words, God, through your word, through your vessels, God. We thank you for their willingness and the freedom and the liberty with which they have expressed themselves tonight. Now, God, I pray that you will bless and pour back into them everything, God, that they have poured out, God, and let them know that their stories matter and that somebody was blessed by their story, God. Continue to let them keep spitting the truth as long as someone will listen. God, I thank you. I thank you for each and every one of them. Now bless us and keep us is our prayer. In Jesus' name, amen. 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 God bless you.